When it comes to someone building up their Wix website, someone building up their Squarespace website, yes, you can build something that looks decently good. But the amount of people that we get in the tubes right now that have gone that route and then come back because their shit doesn't rank, it's not done in a high quality way, it's not speaking to the right audience, it does require some nuance. And again, speaking on that complacency side, like we can't be naive to the fact that these technologies won't increase, these tech, the competency of these won't increase. But our job is to stay on top of the tools and then make sure that we're incorporating it in our own workflows,
Welcome to the Onsite Podcast. We chat with contractors, educators, industry professionals about the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's fucking get into it. All right, welcome back to the Onsite Podcast. Today we have Chris back. So Chris was on the podcast early on. He was like one of my first or second guests. And so we are on now episode 47, dude. Oh. And so Chris is with Blue Collar Marketing. In my opinion, they're one of the best online space marketing companies for blue collar contractors anywhere in North America. If you've seen their content online, it's pretty cool. It's creative. It's flashy. It stands out. And you'll kind of get that vibe when we talk with Chris today, just like that. That's his flavor too. So his flavor comes through in his content and whatever they're putting out there. So dude, I'm excited to dig into this. We're going to talk a lot about AI shit because that's like what everyone's talking about. So appreciate you being here today.
100%, man. Pumped up to be here, man. Excited. The OG is returning here, man.
Let's do it.
All ready to rock the roll.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cool. So Chris, the floor is yours. Tell us, what's going on with Blue Collar since we last talked.
For sure, man. Yeah, no, it's been a whip of a last I guess several months here, man. Like our team has grown. We're about a team of 18, 19 now. Very much, again, for anyone listening who hasn't heard to the first episode, and as Brandon was alluding to here, we are a full service digital marketing company for the trade specifically. Like our bread and butter is definitely websites, media, and ads, but we do a whole variety of services. We do logos, branding, websites, advertising, SEO, social media, paid ads, whatever else is kind of mentioned in that block there, we do it here. Like our focus has been the trades. We're a big believer in the people that we hire also have experience in the trades here because we want to have a very boots on the ground feel. Like we work with people who are chucking a truck, just getting started out, to guys that are pouring $2 million of concrete a day here, which gives us a lot of breadth in terms of the industry. Like we understand how this shit works, which is awesome. And this is the industry that we know and love, man. Like this is a super, super fun industry to be a part of. And then the way that tech is growing, which I'm excited to kind of chat about, there's so many things even outside of the marketing stuff that AI can help with. A lot of things to be aware too, where AI can kind of fuck you in certain aspects too as well. But there's a lot of really great technical advancements that I think is going to help, an industry that's pretty protected from tech a lot of the time. So
one question. So you had mentioned chucking a truck. Is that from my content? Is that where you got that from?
Is that you? I don't know. I feel like I just take things, man, and I grab it and I just restart it out, man. So I'll give the creds, man, if I heard it.
So for the probably, I don't know, for a couple months there, I was reenacting my opinion of what chucking the truck, the contractor was, which is basically is a degenerate that doesn't want to grow his business. So I was formulating reels that would show my conversation with chucking the truck. Because I talk with contractors like that all the time that are like, oh, I want all these fucking things, but I don't want to do anything. So they just keep complaining every day. So I identify those people now as Chuck. So if you're listening to this and your business sucks and you're not growing and you don't invest in people like Chris or me, you're probably identified as Chuck. So that's how I identify. And the other reason why I came up with Chuck was because somebody sent me this fucking reel with this dude. He had an old square body Chevy, and the box was kind of fucking twisted off, and just the truck was hand painted. 2x4s are laying out, shit's falling out of the truck. The dash is all full of shit. And so that's kind of that's where Chuck came from. So dude, obviously AI is going to be a large topic of this conversation, but also we'll promote your products and services and the things that you can do to help people advance. I know you guys helped us with our website and continue to help us, regularly with all the different changes. Your team is incredible to work with. I really like the tools on how we communicate and update changes. At first, because I'm not really a techie dude, I was just like, fuck, can't I just send pictures and screenshots and, all this shit. And you're just like, dude, come on. Come on, you're making our life miserable. You know how many fucking websites we're dealing with? And I'm just like, okay, fair enough. I'm this guy. So great product. Once I leaned into it, and I think it's called Markup.
Yeah. It just makes it easy. Point and click, man. And it
That's
just
super good.
an email can be interpreted 100 different ways. Like it's so nice for our team that doesn't have like the direct contact with you. Just be like, I want this picture changed, and people are like, where? But if you can just click it, it's right there. It gives context. A nice smooth tool once it gets past like that learning curve.
No, and it's quick too. Like your team is quick. They are active and responsive in it. So I love it. It always has been a great experience working with you and your team. I even remember our first interaction, and I don't know if you do, but our first interaction, I was like, yeah, man, like I'm thinking about building this community, and you're just like, okay. No, I think I met with your partner.
Wes.
Yeah, I met with Wes, and he's like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? Like I'm not even interested. And then finally I kept going because I was like, I'm not fucking walking away from these guys. Like they're exactly who I want to work with. They're exactly who I want to conquer this journey with. And so here we are over 2 years later, which is wild. So I love it. So we're going to jump into some AI shit. I'm just going to ask you questions. You can dig into it. I try to stay on top of AI. I primarily use ChatGPT, and apparently to Dan Martell, ChatGPT is shit, but I love it. He's saying Claude is, much better. And I've tried it a little bit. I never really got fully into it. So like, first off, which is like your preferred or suggested tech stack that you would suggest contractors should utilize just to kind of keep their shit flowing in the right direction?
100%, man. I think it's a good question, man. And like at the end of the day, like if you go with any of like the big three or big four, like you're going to be for the most part okay. Like when you start really looking at like the benchmark tests, like ChatGPT versus Claude Opus versus Google Gemini versus some of like even the open source LLMs there, which are just like different AI agents, man. Like each one has like its pros and strengths. Like I love using ChatGPT if I want something a little more like natural language. I'm kind of like boycotting OpenAI now because I don't want to get political, but they're a dicey company now. You know what I mean? But Claude has always been on top. They're a great company, a great studio. They have like really good technical backing. I find like Claude has a really big context window for the most part. When you look at like stuff that are called like context window, there's a stuff called like, it's the different ways to say it, but like context rot. Like the more you chat with a bot, the stupider it gets because it's like this thing with tokens and stuff like that. And it starts to not really understand what you're thinking, where like Claude really excels in that. There's different models and, other open source models or other competing models that have something similar. But I think Claude was very much a forefront on that. Very good in terms of the analytics, the math portion, solving more complex problems. I personally use Google Gemini. Main reason too is because it has a direct connection to Google, which, the Claude, ChatGPT, even like Perplexity, which is kind of like a bundled mix, like they have like direct access to as well in a way, but like I kind of trust almost Google more because it's like directly from the source of like search engines. So they have like a really good job and like really fast when it comes to like the research stuff. Like I put on the pro model, it'll pull relevant facts, statistics, things directly from like the search engine, which the other models have too as well. I just really like the way that Gemini displays it. And like Gemini is also it's from Google. So they're a long-standing company. The reason why I say most contractors, especially for what people are using it for, like if you choose any of like the three big ones, like you're going to be for the most part fine. Like when things really start pushing the needles, when you start doing really, really complex things, if you're into like software development, if you're into like heavy research, but for most of the things that like contractors need, and this is just like an agentic point, like in terms of like agents, but like you have models that are excel in like visuals. So Nano Pro is like one of the big ones from Google. They just came out with their second version of it, Andromeda 2. And, for a long time, ChatGPT's model, which was like kind of like Sora, was like the top dog for a long bit. And now, like in my opinion, like Nano Banana has like very much superseded them. And then you have other ones too as well that are a little bit more third party. So depends on what you're using it for. What I would recommend for contractors is like just understanding like your technical stack or like what you want to use it for, and then just seeing if it works within your workflow. Like the reason why, and like I had a ChatGPT subscription for everyone in this office. It was costing me a fucking like arm and a leg. But we have Google Workspace, and like most contractors are either on Microsoft Outlook or Google Workspace. They have Copilot for Microsoft. I can't speak too much on that, but I don't really use that too much. I don't think a lot of people use Copilot personally. But if you're in like a Google stack, you have Gmail accounts, like you have free access to Google's top model, which is like Gemini. Why would you have to pay? I was paying like, hundreds of dollars a month to sustain like a team of like 15 to 20 people on OpenAI, when this was included in my $15 a month subscription per account with their emails with like Google Gemini. So it can read your emails, it can look through stuff, it can respond as you. So no model, in my opinion. There are benchmark tests, but for the level that a lot of people are going to be using with it, I would just choose something that works within your workflow. Like Brandon, if you love ChatGPT and it works well for you,
yeah, I mean, I've gotten in arguments with it. That's for sure. Like me and him or her or whatever the fuck it is, we've if we could lay fisticuffs, we would probably do that at some point.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I mean, in all honesty, like there's times where it just goes so squirrely that you're like, what the fuck are you saying? Like you're hallucinating to a whole nother level. And so, for that reason, I don't believe AI is going to take everything over. I think it's moving in a direction that a lot of people don't understand how fast it's moving. And, the people that aren't using CRMs, that aren't using, construction management software like JobTread are going to find themselves in a really fucking vulnerable position moving forward. And, in the forefront of your business is marketing, right? Marketing and visibility. And so, that's what you and your team provide. And so, there was this post the other day, I think Claude. Claude apparently can build a website like in 5 minutes. And I'm sure you tried this. What do you see like, because your business was built around, a lot of web development and creative elements like that. And you've got a huge team of people, and a lot of AI tools are coming for a lot of those jobs, obviously. And so, how are we still providing value for contractors, keeping all these fucking people employed, because we obviously want people to work, like people need to survive, but also, providing enough a layer of value and being competitive in this marketplace where we can still deliver better than what AI can do. So like, what are some things that you guys are offering to contractors right now, just with all these different resources and tools that exist?
Absolutely, man. I'll answer that too, because I love this topic, because we get this in our sales calls all the time. Like, it used to be like my nephew's uncle's dog's cat can build us a website, right? Get to go fees for $3. Like 100%. Like this has always been a thing. And like the message, especially from like a marketing standpoint, with GoDaddy, with Squarespace, with Wix, the marketing message from these top companies that spend a lot of money in terms of like build a website in 5 minutes, that hasn't changed for 10 years. Like that has always been the same. The product now is starting to like catch up, which is like a great thing. And from like our own internal standpoint, for us to stay competitive is like, we can't be naive to the threat of AI. It's definitely something we can't become complacent. We have to make sure, as you said, to keep providing value on that end. But when it comes to like the actual AI as like a total and how people use it, it's like, if I give a monkey a hammer, is he going to be able to build a house? Like, yes, he can do the labor. Yes, he can do a lot of the things, but a lot of like the thinking parts, which AI really hasn't like solved when it comes to building out the sites. When it comes to someone building up their Wix website, someone building up their Squarespace website, yes, you can build something that looks decently good. But the amount of people that we get in the tubes right now that have gone that route and then come back because their shit doesn't rank, it's not done in a high quality way, it's not speaking to the right audience, it does require some nuance. And again, speaking on that complacency side, like we can't be naive to the fact that these technologies won't increase, these tech, the competency of these won't increase. But our job is to stay on top of the tools and then make sure that we're incorporating it in our own workflows. If it took us 2 to 3 months to build a website, we have to be able to use these tools. So now we can like turn around a really good custom site in a month, in 3 weeks, in 2 weeks, start really providing, using like the expert seat to use these tools to provide a better product much faster. Like for people who I think are shielded in an industry, in the sense, like I'm not a generalist where I'm not just selling websites, I'm selling an outcome, not just like a website. Yeah. There's like some safety there where if you are just selling like a commodity, a website, a logo, a photo, like that's where things become dangerous, because you're just selling like a product, which AI is doing a great job of replicating. But there's a lot of nuance when it comes to like these AI tools of like, how do you build a website that is like Google friendly from a technical standpoint? How do you build a site for a contractor, which depending on the niche has a wide range of audiences, from hiring side, from GCs to subs, to making sure that you have the right safety regulations when you're bidding on projects, to making sure that you're targeting residential versus commercial, right? There's like a lot of nuance that someone who hasn't touched technology, and thankfully in our industry that's quite a lot of people that we get in the tubes. How do we just make sure that we build a product? And you know this too, Brandon, like the typical services that the guys in our space are offering are quite expensive. Like it's not just like home service. Like if we're dealing with an excavation company or a construction company, like they're doing like pretty big projects, a renovation or remodeling project. I really like to poise the question of like ROI. Like, are you okay spending $2 to $3 grand for it to be done the right way, so that 1 job, 2 jobs now flips this investment and now we can snowball it, Or do you want to do this rat race where you try and do this for $5, $10, $15? It actually puts you behind. So it's a long-winded discussion, man. But I think the biggest thing is like a sum up, man, is like for us as like an agency to continue providing value. It's like using these tools to improve our own like speed and the quality of the product, because we have 7 years of experience in this industry now. Like we really know what works as like an outcome side, not just that we're good at building websites.
Hey, we've got an ad here. Make sure to pay attention. What's up, guys? Are you a contractor or business owner looking to take things to the next level? Well, I've got something for you. The Elite Builder Society is a community that helps contractors grow and scale. For $49 a month, you can have access to 20 group coaching calls. Look, you're probably wondering, how am I going to show up to 20 calls, Brandon? That's a lot. And yeah, it is a lot for $49 a month. But every call is recorded so you can watch it at your leisure. But you get the best experience when you're live on the call with us. Okay, at the end of every webinar, there will be a Q&A where you can ask the industry expert questions that you can implement into your business. Look, if you're ready to take things to the next level for $49 a month, go to ebsworks.com and register today. I look forward to seeing you inside the community. No, for sure. And I knew that you guys were already kind of operating with that mindset. Like our system is very similar. Like we use a lot of AI tools to enhance our ability to deliver a better product. Right. And so exact same thing kind of with you guys where, you know, yes, all these fucking tools exist. Are they going to, you know, singularly take out one pillar of our business? No, they will make that pillar operate differently, function, you know, more economically. Like maybe at some point websites do cost next to nothing and they do take no time, but there's still these people that are needed to kind of plug and play some of the elements to make sure that it's all functioning at the highest level and delivering the value that they need. The outcome that you kind of mentioned, you know, with what you said earlier is like, because that's ultimately why anybody ever makes any investment in any service like this, like you or I, they are expecting an outcome, right? They're expecting some type of like sometimes an unrealistic outcome where they want all these things to transform, but yet they're not willing necessarily to do the things they need to do in order for the success to come. You could build a fucking great website for a shitty contractor and he could still be a shitty contractor.
For sure.
You know? Like even though it's like polishing a turd, you can't really work your way around it too much to really, you know, create this magical outcome. So I mean, I love that you guys are integrating that. Honestly, that's a great response because some people do get, you know, confrontational when you like threaten their jobs. You know, it's like, well, what do you mean? Like AI fucking sucks.
And it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like you have to be realistic, man. Like this is like such a new age of tech. And like, if you don't adopt to it, like you're going to get, it's like, what's the camera company? Kodak fucking went through whatever they are, got left behind. The film camera, the digital, man. It's like, oh no, people still appreciate this, still be good. And they got like dog, man. Like you got to have a little bit of like sense in the sense of like, okay, what should I do as a business person? Should I be stuck in my ways and make sure that the people know that I'm the best because I built this by hand, by scratch, which a lot of the stuff that we do has that element, and the majority of our stuff is very custom. But I would love to incorporate workflows that does like some of the tedious shit, like mapping images and doing the stuff that, you know, is a time suck with AI so that I can provide you with a better product like faster. But yeah, people who get stuck and like angry about AI and calling it like dumb and stupid or like pulling the wool over their.
So like every teacher in Canada, because I don't, the majority, sorry, not every. The majority of teachers in Canada, they don't really support it. You know, like we're still running the same curriculum where we're not really encouraging an element of AI. Like I think that we need to change that. You don't have kids, do you? No.
I haven't got a phone call, so I'm pretty good that I'm chill right now. Yeah.
So no kids, but like, so my son is in grade 12. My daughter's in grade 9. There was this, when was it? My son in maybe grade 10. Like ChatGPT just came around and we were like right into it, like right out of the gate, jumped right into this, like digging in, doing everything we can with it, understanding really how to use it to make a better outcome, right? To use the tool to build a better outcome, which is what anybody should be using it for. And he got a 0 on an assignment for using the product. They're like, well, we scanned it and it was 100% AI. I was like, yeah,
scans are bullshit too, man. Like there's not like, they're so inaccurate too. Like the scans portion, like it's such that's
just, you're using AI to determine whether or not he's using AI. So like, you get to use the calculator, but he can't. Like that's so fucking stupid. And so I flipped it back to the teacher and I was like, well, is it stupid for him to gather all this information to research the element that you're expecting him to research in a shorter period of time than everyone else and retain the information, then put it together in an organized fashion and then send it to you? Like, why wouldn't he get 110%? Because he did more than everyone else technically did. Just because he did it faster and the outcome's better, how did he fail?
100%, man. It's the same. You said the calculator thing, man. It's the same shit when I was going to school. It's like, you're not going to have access to a calculator all the time. Like, I'm pretty sure I understand learning the foundations. I 100% get that. Like, I think it's important to have a fundamental understanding, but like to shield away from like certain tools, man, is like almost setting you back a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Like, what about handwriting?
Yeah.
You know, that's a huge thing.
Like
my grandma had great handwriting. My mom has pretty good handwriting. Me and my kid, we don't have great handwriting. My daughter, actually, she's got great handwriting. But
like generation there, then I guess, you know.
Yeah. So it's just like technology is always changing. And I'm agree, like when the calculator came out, teachers were like, you can't use this shit. Like, what are you going to do when you advance and you're going to just find a calculator? I'm like, yeah, it's probably going to be on my phone.
Legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So cool. So, okay. So tell us a little bit about like what is currently like trending for marketing right now that you see kind of being effective. Like, obviously with AI and all these technology and all these different agencies flipping things around, like people still need results. And so in order for them to generate, good quality leads, there is organic, right? There's visibility through organic, which has its limitations in every city or community that you're in. And as soon as you understand that, then you invest in some form of advertising, right? Where it's Google ads or Meta ads. So, give us your take on, what a contractor should do. Let's say you're a $2 million contractor and you're like, hey, cool, I've maxed out my organic leads. I'm ready to start paying $5,000 or $10,000 a month, because you do have to pay to get good leads. What does that look like? What have you seen really work the best?
100%, man. I'll do on like two sides there, just to even like touch on the organic side a little bit too, man. Like the one thing that I think is important, and we see this for guys because there's no like question about it, man. Like this industry still thrives on like traditional word of mouth, referral, handshakes, who you know. And I think that will always be an important piece of this industry. But we are such a big believer of like building like the foundation of your brand from like a branding standpoint and a website standpoint. I always say the website's typically either going to be someone's first impression or their second impression after you have a nice conversation with you. So making sure that is like very much up to par, because we'll have guys that come in that are doing $3 million, $4 million, $5 million a year, and they don't even have a website, and like they're doing great. Like things are doing all right. Now it's like this opportunity to capitalize on. So to answer that with the AI portion, man, the way that like people are searching is definitely changing too as well. So when it comes to outside of just like the advertising portion, making sure that your site or any of your digital assets are very like crawlable and findable by AI is huge. I think like there's a stat released that over 50% of like traffic or people landing on your site is done through like some type of AI assistant, whether it's like AI overview, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Google Gemini. People are reaching their site and searching for things in a different way. Like Google's under a lot of flack right now because like the AI overview, when you search something, it almost like hijacks the answers. You don't have to like click on people's websites. The important part now is like, where does ChatGPT, where does Google Gemini, where does the AI overview get their information from? And typically it's going to be stuff that's online. So like a website, there's certain things you can do now to your website from a technical standpoint. And this is why, it's one thing to build a website that looks nice. It's another thing to build a website that like performs. There's something on the SEO side called like a robots.txt file. This is typically the golden standard just in terms of like how search engines crawl your website. It gives like specific instructions, tells what pages are crawlable outside of like schema and markup, which is a different thing. But it tells you like what pages are relevant, what things can access your website to make sure that you're visible. A lot of people are just rocking with that right now. A new thing that just came out typically recently is something called an LLM.txt, which is LLM stands for large language model, which is what is the traditional name or high level name for what like ChatGPT is, any of those like AI things. So this new like file that you have to put into your website now makes it even easier for AI chatbots now to crawl your website. So to be able to see like what type of things are available and searchable and findable on your site, providing it very crisply compared to like a robots.txt file. This in itself, like this small change, allows you now to be a lot more competitive when it comes to AI overview, when it comes to ChatGPT, when it comes to other different like AI assistants, which is like a huge thing from like an organic side. So like even outside of the paid thing, like if you have your website and it's good, I would really ask your developers, like, do we have this LLM.txt? If you go on Reddit, there's mixed things. I love Reddit, but they can be very pessimistic and stuck in their ways. They're like, oh, robots.txt covers this. We did this for our own website and some of our clients. And like we get calls from people. We have like this product called Workphone, which is like an AI receptionist. I've had like 4 or 5 people come in the last month that have just found us on ChatGPT. And this is after adding this LM.txt. We haven't even heard of blue collar marketing. We're not promoting Workphone at all or advertising for it. This is like organic through like AI assistance, which is like was sick. And I'm like, do you know who I am? Or like, do you know the company? Is like, I don't know who blue collar marketing is. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let me get you set up for Workphone. You'll be all good. So
from an organic question, do we have that set up for ours?
For Workphone? Or LLM? Yeah. You guys are squared. You guys are squared. There we go.
That's the crazy part is that like shit is moving so quick that you could be like in the dust if you have the wrong people around you. And just to give you a quick shout out too, because if anybody right now has a website that they're concerned about not getting visible, because I'm going to be completely honest, I haven't used fucking Google to really search for anything other than like maps. And I'm using ChatGPT right now to find my shit. And it is okay with what it produces. And then I'll kind of resort back to Google if it's not giving me the shit. But like, dude, if it gave me like a great direction on, a product or a service or a business, I would probably lean into it because it shares a great overview of whatever you're asking it. And, and whereas Google just gives you a pre-built page. And so if anybody wants to get their websites audited, because that'd probably be the first thing that you'd want to do is just website or give them a bit of direction. Yeah. Where do they find you?
Bluecollarmarketing.ca. You can see us on socials at bluecollarmarketing.ca. We're not .com. We've been trying to get it from this Florida lad for a long, long time, but he just holds it. But yeah, bluecollarmarketing.ca. My email is chris@bluecollarmarketing.ca, but I'll probably connect you with Curtis to kind of get you guys in the flow. But you can book in right through the website. And like we start with a nice intro call. My biggest thing when we work with people is like if I can actually like help you. Sometimes it's great to have the assistance of a marketing agency. Sometimes it's great to work with you guys first to make sure their shit's square and then have on a marketing agency. So we just have a very transparent discussion, then just see where we can help people out.
Cool. Let's pull up Blue Collar's website here. Let's take a look at that thing.
Take a peek.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right. When's the last time you update this? This thing's probably getting updated in real time all the time.
Yeah, like the big thing is like image changes, man. Like we have like our media team is going so ham, man, and like I'm typically the guy that messes around with this site. So there's a few things that we need to update in terms of like the portfolio piece, but we have like maybe 300 sites in our portfolio on that website, service offerings and everything there. So again, like that's going to be the what's it called, like the key services. Yeah, it's the portfolio portion where we list out all of our websites so you can kind of give them a look, and like we use this to do while people try and take a look at like what's going on there. So
I love this, love it. So yeah, if you want to connect with Blue Collar, go do so. You'll be happy you did. What's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying this episode of the On-Site Podcast. So here's the deal. We want to grow this show and we need your help. It's simple. Pay the tax, share the show. That's it. Let's get back into it. So now to continue on with the conversation about visibility. So obviously you guys have these tools that help or allow ChatGPT and other AI tools to find you because people are going to be searching through those tools now. What about marketing? Like how
cool.
So if we talk about like traditional marketing, and just to kind of give some perspective in my opinion about marketing, you got organic, there's a threshold. You got a brand, right? You got visibility, potential. Maybe you've got a social presence, maybe you don't. And so at some point you're going to have to start paying for leads. And the cool thing about paid leads, typically before AI, was that you could gather data around the decision. So if you invest $10,000 and your average lead cost is X, Y, and Z, your conversion rate is Y, then you know that if you spend X amount of dollars, you can generate these many leads and generate this much sales. So if you just increase that number, typically over time, you can continue to grow your business. But that's changing, a little bit. That's changing. And so how can we get consistent visibility in every place in the market?
100%, man. So I think it depends on like where you're wanting to like advertise. So Google is great for intent-driven traffic. It works very, very well for people that are ready to buy right now. If I'm a plumber, if I'm an electrician and something's gone wrong, typically people aren't looking on Facebook or Instagram for that stuff. It's like I'm typing in like sink repair, toilet repair, basement flooding, whatever. That stuff works very well in terms of like the Google traffic. There is like great way that you can like use AI even outside of like hiring an agency to like help you optimize your own like listings for that. Again, for Google, everything lands back onto a website. Like there's different networks within Google that, you know, display where you can use creatives. But when it comes to like, I'm talking about specifically Google search, everything lands back to a website. When it comes to like that ad copy, the ad headlines, you can use AI to kind of look through, or just even look through it yourself. Like what are the headlines that are top promoting, that are on the top of like that search keyword? And I can make something that's like relevant to that. That's on one side. AI is very good for helping you on the ideation portion of that. Analysis, still Google AdWords or like the ads manager there is going to give you all the data that you need to know. Where things have been really changing is like Facebook and Instagram. So like Meta specifically, when you look at like full scale coverage, and the way that we advertise for people is like, we like to kind of put them on specifically very much two platforms, one for the intent driven traffic on Google, but also for Facebook and Instagram, which is like great for awareness, making sure that you're always top of mind. Like, you know, a lot of the times people aren't looking to have their backyard redone or a porch put in, but we're hoping that at times we badger them with all these beautiful backyard pictures and videos that when the wife is scrolling in her bed eating popcorn and then says to the husband, or the husband says to the wife, like, I want to get my backyard done, who are they going to think of? The person that's been popping up on their feed the whole time. So the AI portion, how it's really changed specifically in Meta, there was a new update several months ago now called Andromeda. And the way that we like manage media buying, and when I say media buying, is like managing like your ad spends and like the campaigns, is like changed so significantly. It's so less now on like how you strategically set up your campaigns, but now a lot more on like the actual creatives that you're putting out there. So the whole way that like the targeting is shifted, this is such more of a thing on having like a decent quantity of high quality creatives for your advertising, rather than hyper focusing your markets, hyper focusing your audience, doing a bunch of things specifically on like the strategic targeting side. Now it's very much on like the creatives, you know, and like there's so many great ways that AI can assist with creatives without, you have to be careful, because like having like AI slop or making it look too AI, people absolutely hate that. But when it comes to like how you're managing and how Meta specifically integrated AI into their own algorithm, it is so like creative driven. Like we make sure if we do anything for ads people, like typically now it's like we don't even do ads for people unless we do media for them, because there's like a specific way for it to be successful. And you just need a high quality, decent volume of creatives to like test with like the algorithm. So it's specifically changed like on the media buying game. And like Meta also has plans to almost like phase out media buyers in the sense of like people running ads. It's going to be very creative focused, but at the same time, I'm kind of cautious on that, because like, I know, I imagine you've, you know, ran ads for your own company there, brother. And like, I've seen other people, man, like some of like Google's suggestions for bidding and even like Facebook's smart recommendations and auto recommendations, they're so dog shit. And you're just gonna have like dog shit versus dog shit. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. But the main thing when I chat with contractors in terms of like, I want to run ads, I'd be like, you need to make sure that you have like a creative budget or like high quality creatives, because you will get dog washed by people that are just spitting out like a high volume of creatives. Like the algorithm has completely changed with how people now find success on specifically like Meta for advertising.
Love it, dude. So much to digest, so much to take away from this, but also so important, you know, if you're really trying to grow your business in the right direction, get the right kind of visibility and just stay present. I think it's really important that, you know, you connect with Chris, or, you know, even come, I think we're going to set Chris up, if you're not already set up, to do a presentation inside of the community here coming up, where right now we're running 3 calls a week. We're going to be upping that to 4. And in that transition, we'll definitely get you in there, Chris, just to kind of help give some visibility. And so some of those presentations will be coming. Make sure to, you know, follow along with that, dude. I think that's enough for people to digest. I think that a lot of people are overwhelmed with some of these elements. Yeah. You did a website for Golden Bear, right? And you know, not that they're overwhelmed, but they're you know, an older business. They've been around for a long time. You know, they had multiple websites getting tons of visibility. They got a huge presence in their community, and like we put them on JobTread, we put them on you guys, we put them on Go High Level, we put them on all this technology, and they're just like, fuck, you know, overwhelmed. And now the dust has kind of settled a little bit. And I was like, at the end of the day, I said, we have options. We do nothing, or we get uncomfortable and we do the things we need to do, and if we don't, then it's going to be a lot harder to swallow bigger pieces of this puzzle later down the road. I really believe that technology will get to a point in this industry, and everybody that's listening to this right now, if you're in any construction space, understand that the most challenging part of that space is sales. Right? You got marketing and you got sales, and then you got doing of the work. Most people are like comfortable doing the work, but the other parts are inconsistent and just, challenging. I believe that with technology, we are going to be in a position where we could build a product that will be self-guided by the client, capturing data and information about the job or the scope of work, uploading it into a software that helps evaluate that, builds out your estimate for you, sends it to you for approval, gives you the ability to make a deposit. The deposit then gets scheduled with the company, and then that data is then organized and scheduled without anybody doing the sales, which ultimately is going to lower the cost of the service. So when I was explaining this to Kristen and Amon, I said at some point, somebody's going to walk in a home and they're not going to need to go in there. Like, they're going to literally be walking into a job that was sold by the automations that you create. Yeah, and so if you like don't have, if you're still, doing things like with pencil and a paper, we're really going to get just chewed up. And so, those were people that we brought around, and, I'm thankful for you guys, because that was a complex situation. They had multiple different websites. They got a beautiful website now, beautiful brand. They're really running in the right direction. They hit their highest sales month ever in January, after the website kind of went live, which is crazy because, we had to literally delete history.
For sure. Big time.
And then start all over in a different direction. And their website quickly started tracking because they were on multiple pages first overall, but you guys were like, the new website was like right behind, like 2 or 3 down within the first month. So props to your team for bringing that together for them and everybody else that you've helped with their websites. Again, if anybody wants to connect with Chris and Blue Collar Marketing, bluecollarmarketing.ca, head over there, connect with their team. You'll be glad you did. Get a free audit. Maybe it's free. I just threw that out there. But
there you go. We'll have a nice chat with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, they'll have a chat with you and help you with your website and get you going in the right direction and help you with marketing too. I think it's important that you're, with somebody that's at the forefront of this technology that is forever just changing the topography of the land. Dude, great episode. Excited to get you up in the community to run a call or two. But for now, that's it. Anything else you want to share with us about, anything?
Yeah. Not too much, man. No, it's excited, man. I really appreciate having me on here and excited to do another little presentation there with you, man. But yeah, for anyone listening, man, just like, do not be afraid of AI, but don't be complacent either. Like, just ensure that you're trying your best to keep up with the times. Like, I think that's like the best advice. Like, this tech is coming, whether you like it or not. And the best thing you can do is start integrating it into your business, like working with guys like Brandon, like myself, like with people who actually know how to have the nuance to understand how it can be used best. I think that's the best way you can kind of set yourself forward to ensure that you're successful, or at least covering all your bases.
Love it, dude. Appreciate it. Thanks. And that is all. Cheers.
Rock and roll. Sweet, man.
All right. That concludes this episode of the On-Site Podcast. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, please pay the tax, share the show. Guys, if you want to be a part of the Elite Builder Society, all you got to do is pay $49 a month. That's it. $49 a month. You get 20 group coaching calls every month. Okay. Go to ebsworks.com and register today. If you enjoyed the show, please pay the tax and share the show.